for a guy who was kind of upset and worried because the transplant trial this year didn't work very well. I have every one of those beds full. Welcome back to Ecocentric. I'm going to give you a tour today of just the garden area, sunny plot and sunny plot behind me, and the shady plot right here. We're just past June the 21st, and it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so you can see what I've got. First thing in the morning, those back beds are in sun, and they get a little bit of sun lasting in the afternoon, but midday they're shaded. Okay, so there's a cloud gone in now, so you can't see it, but it was just shaded. Anyway, let's start with this. Here's the rutabaga. They're starting to overlap each other now, so I have to go through and pull out every second one. This bed in here never gets any sun, but I know potatoes can grow well in there. You can see that most of them are up now, and they will grow and give me a good harvest. Every time I look at this, I'm really happy because I'm trying to get the brassicas to grow well, and I've been doing better and better each year. And this year, those big ones, that's all the Brussels sprouts. And so the lighter color ones in here is cauliflower, and the darker color ones in the back is broccoli. And they're all coming along so nice. I have in between now, that's much of that green that you might think is weeds is actually radishes. Coming back out to the outside, this is exciting. See, I was saying about the transplants that failed. Well, they didn't all fail. This is autumn butternut, and if I go down the bed, I'll just go down there quickly. You see there's 3 there, but there's small ones. I actually have 3 small ones there as well. So there are 6 autumn butternuts in this bed. This is the bed that I had the lemon balm in, and I sifted it out. These little rows, divots here, every second one I planted a row of sugar beet. And that's a sugar beet there. There's another one here. They're coming up, and once again that's because this weed is, you got to be careful you're not pulling up beets when you've got beets planted. Coming to the point now that I can go through and pull them up. Most of the potatoes were up high enough to be mulched. So this bed is all mulched. And when you get mowing your meadow, mulch everything you can. Because hey, if you're not mulching it or using it for compost, well, what are you mowing it for, right? And excitement again, because this is a early Copenhagen market cabbage. These 2 are Red Express, the ones I really like. Another Red Express and another Copenhagen market. Those other ones that are growing really nicely are kohlrabi, purple Vienna. That's a regrowth from last year. We have the ones that the rabbit chewed off. The white Vienna actually are starting to grow back. I don't know if they'll come back good or no. So what we have here is the sprouting broccoli. There are some things planted along here. I got a row of kale here, and then I planted a row of blue-curled Scotch kale. So the things that are coming up, if they came up enough, I figured I'd transplant them. See, I had a row of red cabbage there, but here now I have 4 transplants, and that is a cauliflower there. I don't know what that is. think that's spinach. Yeah, that's some kind of spinach there. It's over the labels on the other side. And a row of lettuce, which I definitely don't need. This bed of potatoes is doing the best, but it is the variety. This is the red ones. You can see a difference. See the reddish veins? And now, might be able to point it out to you. Yeah. See, so this is Northern Reds. It's lighter, the leaf, but the veining is as well. But when you get to the red chieftains, the red color in the veins is darker. Beets are coming along beautifully. I might look through them and see if I want to actually thin them out, because by the leaves you can see they're getting fairly crowded, and I've got to weed the bed again. They're coming up nicely back here. See, these are the beets right here. So they're getting long. I do have the occasional space. The traditional Detroit dark red, because they're right under the tree, they're growing slower, but they have thousands of time to grow. Now I assume, you see this bed is doing nicely with potatoes, but as you go in, I assume that's because of the trees. I don't know. Both beds are well amended with the compost. It's rough compost, that's why you see all those sticks there. And what I've done in the herb garden, I have planted 2 rows. I don't know if you can see on the camera, the little divots of cilantro. I have 6 plants of calendula back there. Now that's a annual plant. So they're actually crowded together. You're supposed to space them out more than that. But I said that's an annual plant. We'll just go with that for this year. Winter savory, doing wonderfully. Chives. So this little plant here, that's an Ella campaign. I checked it out. I can only grow in a 2 foot by 2 foot space. I can only grow 1 plant. So I just stuck the 1 plant in there. And as you can see, the Greek oregano is coming in quite nicely. I haven't been to Lewisport yet, but the parsley is coming along good. And so that's why I haven't replaced the catnip that was there. Lavender, of course, this thing never ceases to amaze me every time I walk by it. Let's see, that's a weed. It's growing nicely out here, see? It'll get in. I'll keep weeding it and keep looking it over. It'll come back. The dill that's here is doing fine. St. John's wort and echinacea. So you see my compost bins, they were originally right here. And I thought to make another bed, but then when I was sizing things up, I said, no, I want a laneway going down here. But this one I've left a bit of compost in the bottom here. It lasts, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches something. And this was another success of my attempt at transplants. So this is garden huckleberry. And I thought they were mostly dead. I just added 2 or 3, right? So you can see if I go up, that one in the center is actually a pepper. I'm going to see what he'll do. But the one over on the other side is a garden huckleberry. The one on this side is a garden huckleberry, and you can see one down there. But here's what's interesting. The ones that I thought were dead, see the little bit of green sticking out from the side? Out of the 10 plants, only 1 was completely dead. Those, they lost all their leaves, you swear. I mean, everything was gone. And it's coming back right from the sides of the stem. So I'm like, ooh, I put them in there. Let's see if I can, you see? So there's actually 9 garden huckleberry in here that has, or did have, life on them when I put them in there. And I'm going to wait and see what they do. So that's exciting. I mean, the bigger ones I showed you, they should come anyway. We'll see. Well, I've been walking around looking at this, but look at this. The spinach is bolting already. That's royal pain. 30 degrees today. So that's why they're doing that. They do have some small ones. I've let the asparagus go to fern. This one hasn't actually. He's starting to loosen up there now, so he's going to go to fern. This spinach didn't bolt yet. So what is the name of that spinach? So I don't know what happened, but look at this. I've got radishes. Got one bulbed up there. There's another one there. So I was waiting, actually. He's starting to bolt now, but I'm going to take him in the house. But I wanted to do this video before I done that. More excitement. Beans. Now, I didn't have a lot. There's 16, I think, in this bed, and 5 in that bed. But because I planted out this bed with some kohlrabi seed, you see here's a kohlrabi growing here, and they're dotted throughout. I thought to myself, because you can plant the beans 6 inches apart, and the last 2 years that's what I've done, but in my opinion that was too close together. So I spread them out throughout the bed, and I'm going to keep them clear and see what it grows like if you give them a good bit of room. And the same thing here, right? I have, like I said, 5 or 6 bean plants here, and then there's a whole lot of turnip growing. They're faster, so they'll be taken up as the summer progresses. And of course there's weeds. I was thinking I could call my channel the Weedy Garden, but that name's already taken, so eco-centric it is. So far this year I've harvested more rhubarb than I did last year, and it was just out of those big ones. I haven't harvested any of this yet. And my last harvest in 2019, I've only harvested half of what I did in 2019. So I will probably get to harvest just as much. That would be 12 kilograms, I believe it was. I've harvested 6.5 kilograms so far. But yeah, rhubarb is coming along quite nicely this year. This bed is a disappointment. There are some sugar beets growing in here, but not very many. I didn't have the sifted compost to continue on. I have some here. So, what I'm thinking about doing, I'm going to put it on regular, as far down this bed as it will go, so 1 or 2 inches. I might go halfway down the bed. I have some transplants that I'm going to put here. Strawberry is doing wonderfully. I haven't found any ripe ones yet. I don't think there is any ripe ones, but they're flowering quite a bit, and it's got to be. There we go. I'm going to say. It's got to be strawberries growing here someplace. These potatoes, these are the russets. All doing nicely. And I've got them mulched for the first time. This is where I get my mustard seed. More excitement. Okay, so I'm growing out the seed plants for beets, carrot. I got some carrot that was growing locally, heirloom carrot. And I've let this one grow up. This is for shed wars. I've got a couple of parsley seed plants growing for the purpose of shed wars. But look here. Gaspé Flint corn. I direct sowed that. I just took the corn seed, stuck it in the ground. And it's June 23rd, 24th something. I might even get corn out of that by the time the end of September rolls around. That would be exciting. Of course, this is the strawberry bed that over the summer now those strawberries will get going and fill things in. I mean, look at this plant. It's sending out runners like crazy. So with my last 2 years of root crop failures, now I know why. We've been having very dry summers, and to be honest, this year is coming in pretty dry as well. I realized that early August last year. That is why I got the potato harvest I did. But I didn't realize it in time to get a good carrot and rutabaga harvest. So, I bought this. I tried making one of them. I wasn't successful at DIY in making a rain gauge. So I bought that. It came with this. You see, I could hang it up regular, but I can also use the spike and stick it in the ground because I can only run my sprinkler for 1 hour. So I stuck it in the ground where the sprinkler would go, actually quite a ways out, getting out close to the limit of the sprinkler. Then I measured it, turned on the sprinkler, and I got 5 millimeters of water in this. So when I run my sprinkler for an hour right here, I get approximately 5 millimeters of irrigation out at the end of this bed. So I said I'll stick it there, and I run it late at night and then again first thing in the morning. And then over one night I got the equivalent of 10 millimeters of irrigation. And this is what I've been doing to keep the soil moist. And if I do it in 3 places, so right there, and then in the center of the shady plot, and up right by the asparagus, that's 3 nights. If I do that twice a week, I can do that twice a week, you see, so I could get 20 millimeters of irrigation on the area that the sprinkler will cover each week. So, that being said, wonderful carrot germination. And even better over here because I have the layer of sifted compost on top, of course. Down here, so you can't see it very well yet because I had to reseed this later. And only some of my other ones grew up, so when I get this weeded out again, I don't know how much I want to weed it, because if there's not much organic matter on top, the soil, like I said in another video, the soil dries out so quickly. So I want some shade on the soil, right? But anyway, yeah, they're all coming up, even in this section. I'm going to have quite a few carrots. Lettuce is growing like crazy. So I've taken up all the lettuces that was in the row of carrots, and now I've got to start taking up what's in between the rows. So tomorrow morning, when it's best to take your lettuce when it's raining or early in the morning. That's when they'll be
nice and plump. I mean, you can feel them now, and that leaf is pretty soft. You want to take them early in the morning, or like I say, on a rainy day when these leaves will be nice and firm. So tomorrow morning I'll come out and I'll collect enough to make a good sized salad. There's a lot of lettuce growing here, isn't it? So we'll go back out to this outside bed. You see, it's not going to be very long. I direct sowed vegetable marrow. That's what these are. There's 6, 7. Well, there's one right over on the other end that's just up out of the ground. There's 7 that are coming along quite nicely. This one here, this is a autumn butternut. And I have another one here. Now, if they grow and I get fruit over this season, that's going to be really exciting. And of course, I'll be saving the seed from it and growing it out again. This is a bush crop cucumber. And oh, so I just noticed I got a second one up. So I direct sowed again. I have these back here. The label is missing. You see, I put labels in where I sowed things. But the label is missing for this. I don't know what it is. I have a butterfly milkweed. These are transplants. Looks like this one is having a hard time. That one over there, though, he looks to still be doing well. So even if I get one to grow, I mean, that grows into a big plant, I'd be happy. Because last year I tried to harden them off and no sir. But this year I got 2 hardened off, and then when I transplanted it, this one is, like I say, not looking too well. So I've got to wait for this to grow up to see what it is, and hopefully that one butterfly milkweed succeeds. This is another parsnip seed plant that I'm letting grow just to show how you grow parsnip seed. A lot of chamomile growing here, but the excitement is beans. See, they're planted out approximately 6 inches apart. And I had enough to go over halfway down the bed. That is Tiger's Eye bean. This is a new one. I haven't grown this one before. But that was one of the beans that sprouted. Remember, the beans, they just didn't sprout at all for me. It wasn't that I failed on hardening them off. They just didn't sprout. But Tiger's Eye did sprout. So I don't know if beans quickly lose their viability or not. Maybe it is, or maybe I have to put them in a drier spot. They are in the cold room. Maybe I should have had them upstairs in the pantry. Garlic is not showing any sign of scapes yet, and well, I don't want them to show any sign of scapes yet. I want them to grow another month. I think it's early August that I harvest these. So they've got another month and a half to grow, and the tops are big. Oh, by the way, so my friend was there yesterday. You can take these leaves, and I was never told this before. You can eat them straight. You can cut these up for a salad. Same as the scapes, eh? If you like the taste of garlic straight, you can just pick one of these and eat them as a garden snack. You can dry them out and then powder them, and you'd have green garlic powder. It's not as strong as the bulb. It's actually
quite a nice mild garlic flavor. I just felt a couple pecks of rain. They're forecasting rain for tomorrow. There's a potato weed here. I'm letting it grow because the onions that are supposed to be growing here, there's not much. And I'm really wondering if I'm going to get an onion from what is growing. These are Alyssa Craig. So I said, I'll let the potato grow and dig it up in the fall and see what I get out of it. Mustard greens, I'm not going to let them flower, of course. Not there. You can see how that bed is sinking. I got you all tipped sideways and everything. You can see how that bed is sinking down, where I put the compost down and then I put the soil on top, and then the compost is all decomposing underneath now and the bed is sinking. Next year I'll put a layer of lifted compost on top and level it out. He's going to flower, so I better get him tomorrow when I come out to get my salad greens. In here, these onions are doing better. So the Alyssa Craig didn't do very well. This one is Rosa di Milano, I believe. I can't see the label here now, but I think that's Rosa di Milano. I have a few of these. I can see the label there. Kelsey. Those grows into the big onions. It's really nice. If I had this weeded and the ground was wet, you'd be able to see them very good. But red spring onions, they are quite good for my climate and my conditions that I try to grow them in. I did lose a few, but for the most part, they are all of the onions that I planted, that I got out of the seed. Remember, this is seed that I grew. And I have more seed in the house, plus I have the one down by the fence that's going to go to seed again for me. That's wonderful. I got a low germination on the seed I grew, but when they grow, the onion itself does pretty good. You see, yeah, this dries right out, see? No time. So these are the Rosa di Milano here. There is actually a lot of Rosa di Milano onions here, but once again, we done something exciting, and we direct sowed beans. So these are black turtle. So it wasn't the viability of the seeds, because as you can see, every one of them, I planted them close together. Now I have to transplant these, but I planted them close together, and I've got a few rows. Because there's a lot of onions in here, I'll probably want to take them all out of here. And the bed of disappointment that I mentioned. So I'll do halfway down, I'll put the compost and I'll reseed it with sugar beet, and then I'll transplant those beans down the rest of it. I can't put them here because beans recommend 10 feet apart to be sure of no cross pollination, and I've got the tiger's eye over there, so I can't put them in that bed. I can put them up there because the other beans will be 10 feet away from them, up in by the kohlrabi. And I can also put them here somewhat. I can decide where I can put them, because this attempt, I don't think this is going to come to anything, so I can count that one as a lost cause, and I can put a bean plant down here, right?
and those two. So, oh, I can't put one over there. Oh, that's something else. I'm almost missing things for you, but I can put one there. I might do that, and then I'd have another one to see how that grows. But this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They are the golden pearls. So you remember garden huckleberry, similar type plant, but much sweeter, and it gives yellow orange berries. So that's what that is. And this big space was because I was you actually have to spread them out quite a ways. And in the center, you see, I have 3. That is vegetable marrow, a wonderful small winter squash that keeps a long time. So there is, despite the earlier overzealous attempt at trying to harden them off and me losing the greater percentage of my plants, there's still quite a bit of excitement in this garden. I'm happy with it. But I tell you what, because I like to keep my videos, actually I like to keep my videos under 20 minutes. I don't know how long this is going to be until I actually edit it. I have some other stuff to show you, but I'm going to put it in another video because I can actually bring it from a different point of view. I'm actually trying to do something different. So I'll cut this video here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up for me. Make sure you're subscribed if this is your first time here. And I shall see you in the next video.